有请中华人民共和国国务院副总
Now
理、
I'd like to give
第
the
5届
floor
中国国际进口
to
博览会
Vice
组委会
Premier
主
Hu
任
Chunhua of the
胡春
People's
华
Republic
主
of
持开
China,
幕式。
head of the organizing committee of the 5th CIIE, for chairing the opening ceremony.
尊敬的中共中央
Your
政治局常委
Excellency
李强阁下，
Member of the Standing
尊敬
Committee
的
of the Political
中共中
Bureau
央
of the
政
CPC
治局
Central
委员、
Committee,
上
Your
海市委书
Excellency
记
Chen Jining,
陈吉宁阁下，
Member of the
尊
Political
敬
Bureau
的
of
各国
the
领导人、
CPC
各
Central
国际组
Committee
织
and
负责
Secretary of
人
the CPC Committee of
尊
the
敬
Shanghai
的各国
Municipality,
使节、
Your
各位
Excellencies,
嘉宾、
Heads of State and
女士们、
International
先生
Organizations,
们、朋
Your
友们，
Excellencies, diplomatic envoys,
大
distinguished
家好，
guests, ladies and
欢
gentlemen,
迎出
friends.
席第
Good
5届
evening.
中
Welcome
国
to
国
the
际
5th
进口博览会
CIIE
及
and
虹桥国际经
Hongqiao
济论坛。
International Economic
我代
Forum.
表组委会向支持和
I'd
参
like
与
to, on
进
behalf
博
of
会
the
的
organizing
各国
committee,
政府、国际组织
heartfelt thanks
和各界
to the
朋友
governments
表
of
示
the
衷心的感
participating
谢，
countries,
向
international
线上
organizations,
线
and
下
friends
参
from
会
all
的
sectors,
各位嘉宾
and
表
a
示
hearty
诚挚的欢
welcome
迎。
to participating guests, both online and in person.
中国共产党第20
The
次
20th
全国代表
National
大会
Congress
刚
of
刚
the
顺利闭
Communist
幕，
Party of China
习近平总
was
书记
successfully
在
concluded.
大会上所做的
The
重
important
要报告
report，made by General
明确了
Secretary Xi
新
Jinping
时代
at the
新
Congress
征程
specified
中国共
the
产党
major
和国家
policies
事业发
and the
展的
strategic
大政方针
arrangements
和
for
战
the
略部署，
development of the
是
CPC
中国
and the
共产
country.
党团结带
It
领
is
人
a
民
political
全面
declaration
建设
and
社会主义
program
现代化国
of
家，
action
全
for
面推
the
进
Communist
中华
Party
民族
of
伟大
China
复兴的政
to
治宣
rally
言
and
和
lead
行
the
动纲领。
people in building a
大会
modern
对推进中国
socialist
高水
country
平
in
开
all
放
respects and
作出
realizing
全面部署
the，rejuvenation of
明
the
确要
Chinese
不
nation.
断以
The
中国新
Congress
发展为世界
has
提
made
供新机遇。
full arrangements for
本
high
届进
level
博会
opening up
秉承
and
新时代
specified
共
that
享未来的
China
主
will
题，
provide new
对于
opportunities
促
for the
进
world
各
with
国
its own development.
相互扩大开放、深化
This
合
year's
作
CIIE
具
is
有
themed
重要的意
New
义。
Era Shared Future, and it has special
在
significance
今
for
天的开幕
countries to
式上，
expand opening up
中华
and
人民
deepen
共和国主
cooperation.
席习近平
At this
将
year's
发表
CIIE,
视频致辞。这
President
是
Xi
习近
Jinping
平
will
主席
deliver
连续第
remarks
5
via video
次
link.
在进博会上发表重要讲话
President。Xi Jinping has delivered
中共中央
remarks
政治局
at
常
the
委李
CIIE
强
for 5
莅领会
consecutive
场
years,
并将致辞。
and we are honored to be joined by
出席今天
Mr. Li
开幕
Qiang,
式并
the
发表
member
视
of
频
the
致
Standing
辞的还
Committee
有
of the Political Bureau of the
斯里
CPC
兰卡
Central
总统
Committee. We're
维
also
克纳
honored
马
to be
辛哈
joined by President
毛里塔尼亚
Wickremesinghe
总
of
统
Sri Lanka,
加兹尼瓦尼
President Ghazouani
莫
of
桑比克总
Mauritania,
统柳锡
President Nyusi of
白俄罗斯
Mozambique,
总统卢
President
卡申科
Lukashenko of Belarus,
圭亚那总统阿
President
里
Ali of Guyana,
所罗门群岛总
Prime
理
Minister
索加瓦
Sugawale
雷
of Solomon Islands,
世界贸易组织总
Director
干事
General
伊维纳
Okonjo Iweala of
国
the
际货币基
WTO,
金组织总
Managing
裁
Director
格尔
Georgieva
基耶
of the
娃
IMF,
联合国工业
Director
发展组
General
织总干事
Mueller of
穆勒
UNIDO,
来自82个国家和地区的国际组织101位
101
部级以上嘉宾
above the
线
ministerial
上
level
出席
from
今天
82
的开幕式。
countries and regions and international
有关国家
organizations
驻华使
will
节、
attend today's
国
opening
际组
ceremony
织
via
驻华
video
代表
link.
各省区市
Diplomatic
和有关
envoys,
部委负责人、
representatives of international
跨国公
organizations
司、
to
智
China,
库
and
和
the
商
leading
协会代表
officials of
出席
provinces and
开幕式。
municipalities and ministries, and representatives of
本届
transnational
进博会
companies, think
共有
tanks, and business
145个国家、
associations
地区
are here
和
with
国
us
际组
today.
织参展，其
This
中
year's
66
CIIE
个
is
国家
participated
和3
by
个国家组织参加国家展，
145
来
countries,
自
regions, and
127
international
个国家和
organizations.
地区的
66 countries
2800
and 3
多家
international
参展
organizations
商
will
参加
participate
企业
in the
展，
country exhibition, and
新设了
over
农作物种业、
2,800
人工智能专
exhibitors
区
from
和数字进
127
博
countries
线
and
上展
regions will participate in
，400多项
enterprise
新产品、
exhibition.
新技术、新服务
And we
将
have
集中亮
also
相。
opened an online exhibition. Over 400 new
博览会
products,
期间还将
services,
举
and
办中国这10
technologies
年
will make
对
their
外开
debut.
放成就展。
And during this year's
RCEP 以更
CIIE,
高
we
水
will
平开
also
放
host
高层论坛
a
等20市
high-level
场
forum
分论坛
themed
和近100场
RCEP
配套活
and
动，
higher-level
希
opening
望大
up
家
and
充
an
分利用
exhibition of
进博会
achievements
平台，
of
深
China
入
over
沟
the
通
past
交流，
decade.
努
And
力
we
达
hope
成
that we
更
could
多
make
互
good
利共
use
赢的
of
成果。
this year's CIIE to deepen
现在
exchanges and
让我们以
communication
热烈的
and
掌
achieve
声
more
欢迎中
outcomes
华人民共和国
of
主
mutually
席
beneficial
习近平阁
cooperation.
下发
Now,
表视频致辞。
Join me in a warm round of applause for the remarks of President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, Your Excellencies, heads of international organizations, Your Excellencies, heads of delegations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good evening. I would like to extend, on behalf of the Chinese government and people, and also in my own name, a warm welcome and hearty greetings to all our guests attending the 5th China International Import Expo, CIIE. 5 years ago, I announced the decision to hold the CIIE for the very purpose of expanding China's opening up and turning our enormous market into enormous opportunities for the world. Today, the CIIE has become a showcase of China's new development paradigm, a platform for high-standard opening up, and a public good for the whole world. Openness is a key driving force behind the progress of human civilizations and an intrinsic path toward global prosperity and development. The world today is confronted with accelerated changes unseen in a century, as well as a sluggish economic recovery. We should commit ourselves to openness to meet development challenges, foster synergy for cooperation, build the momentum of innovation, and deliver benefits to all. We should steadily advance economic globalization, enhance every country's dynamism of growth, and provide all nations with greater and fairer access to the fruits of development. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, as the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China has underscored, China remains committed to the fundamental national policy of opening up to the outside world, pursues a mutually beneficial strategy of opening up, and adheres to the right course of economic globalization. We will amplify the interplay between domestic and international markets and resources, strive to create new opportunities for the world with our own development, and contribute our share to building an open global economy. China will work with all countries and all parties to share the opportunities in its vast market. We will step up efforts to cultivate a robust domestic market, upgrade trade in goods, develop new mechanisms for trade in services, and import more quality products. We will establish pilot zones for Silk Road e-commerce cooperation and build national demonstration zones for innovative development of trade in services, so as to encourage innovation in trade and promote high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. China will work with all countries and all parties to share the opportunities from its institutional opening up. We will steadily expand institutional opening up with regard to rules, regulations, management, and standards. Put into full effect the new catalog of encouraged industries for foreign investment, and further develop the National Integrated Demonstration Zone for greater openness in the service sector. We will implement the strategy to upgrade pilot free trade areas, accelerate the Hainan Free Trade Port development, and tap into their role as pilot platforms for comprehensive reform and opening up. China will work with all countries and all parties to share the opportunities from deepened international cooperation. We will engage fully and deeply in WTO reform negotiations, promote trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, and enhance international macroeconomic policy coordination with a view to jointly fostering new drivers for global growth. We will endeavor actively to join the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, and the Digital Economy Partnership Agreement, DEPA, to expand the globally oriented network of high-standard free trade areas. We will firmly support other developing countries and assist them in growing faster and promote the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, after endless mountains and rivers that leave doubt whether there's a path out, suddenly one encounters the shade of a willow, bright flowers, and a lovely village. As this ancient Chinese poem indicates, the path is unfolding before us and a brighter future beckons beyond. China is ready to work with all countries to practice true multilateralism, build more consensus for openness, jointly overcome the difficulties and challenges confronting global economic growth, and make sure that our commitment to openness will bring about broad prospects for global development. Thank you.
I'd like to thank President Xi Jinping for his excellent remarks. Just now, President Xi Jinping fully acknowledged the important achievements made by the CIIE and underscored that the world is confronted with accelerated changes unseen in a century as well as a sluggish economic recovery, and stressed the importance of opening up. And he stated that China will follow the arrangements of the 20th National Party Congress, remain committed to the fundamental national policy of opening up, pursues mutually beneficial strategy of opening up, and adheres to the right course of economic globalization. China will work with all countries and all parties to share opportunities in its vast market, to share the opportunities from its institutional opening up and from deepened international cooperation. The important remarks by President Xi Jinping will have a far-reaching impact on promoting high-level opening up and building an open world economy. Now, I'd like to invite foreign leaders and heads of international organizations to address the event.
Next, President Wickramasinghe of Sri Lanka. Please put on earphones for simultaneous interpretation.
President of the People's Republic of China, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to address the 5th China International Import Expo. Before I begin my speech, I would first like to congratulate Your Excellency on the ever-expanding success of the CIIE and on Your Excellency's re-election as the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. I remember it was during the first forum of the Belt and Road Initiative back in 2017 that the CIIE was first unveiled. Since then, the CIIE has been both an important step in trade liberalization as well as a vital tool in strengthening economic cooperation around the world. This international import-themed expo fair is an innovative stage in the developing countries' attempts to enter the Chinese market. The CIIE has allowed many countries and businesses to enjoy the benefit of the growing consumption appetite of the Chinese people. I must thank you, Mr. President, and the Chinese government for this measure. Sri Lanka has been participating in the CIIE since its inception. Our businesses have benefited greatly through this participation. We have been provided the opportunity for our industries to establish a foothold in the Chinese market. Modern relations between Sri Lanka and China began with the Rubberized Pact. This was an unique agreement at the time. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the pact. The bilateral relationship between our two nations has since then expanded into numerous areas, including trade, investment, tourism, education, defense and health. In 2021, the total volume of trade between our two nations was US dollars 4.3 billion. China is Sri Lanka's biggest source of imports, and there is room to further develop bilateral trade. We are hopeful that negotiations on the free trade agreement will be recommenced in the near future. I once again warmly congratulate Your Excellency and the other officials who have persisted in ensuring the continued success of this significant import expo, despite the challenges posed by the pandemic. I take this opportunity to extend my best wishes for a successful 5th International Import Expo, as well as the future prosperity of all the participants. Thank you.
感谢维克拉马辛哈总统。下面
Thank
有
you,
请毛里
President
塔尼亚总统
Wickremesinghe.
加兹瓦尼阁下致辞。
Now, President Ghazouani of Mauritania.
أن أتوجه بأحر التهاني إلى صاحب
Your
الفخامة
Excellency, President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China.
بمناسبة
Ladies and
إعادة
gentlemen,
انتخابه أمينا عاما للحزب
At the
الشيوعي
outset,
الصيني.
I would like to send the warmest congratulations to President Xi Jinping on his re-election as the General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee. I highly commend the China International Import Expo held at the proposal of President Xi Jinping. And today, I'm also very honored to attend virtually the opening ceremony of the 5th CIIE held in Shanghai. The CIIE has already become one of the most important international platforms for countries and businesses to showcase products, explore new opportunities of trade and investment, deepen development partnerships, and spur global economic recovery. Mauritania is endowed with unique geostrategic location and abundant natural resources, which offers Mauritania a sound business environment and enormous investment opportunities. I am hopeful that this CIIE will be able to help Mauritania forge more trade partnerships and attract more new investment. The world today still faces the disastrous implications of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ukraine crisis leads to deteriorating global security situations. Global supply chains are disrupted, and worsening inflation is leading to a comprehensive economic recession. In this context, the holding of the CIIE carries special significance. It sends the world a strong message of China's commitment to free trade, to an open economy, and to building a fairer, multipolar world order. Constructive cooperation is the cornerstone of Mauritania-China relations. Our friendly and cooperative relationship is a vivid example and success story of the practice of principles of partnership featuring mutual respect, high level of mutual trust, and win-win cooperation. Let me take this opportunity to reaffirm Mauritania's firm commitment to the One China principle and to expanding and deepening partnership with China. In closing, I wish this year's CIIE a full success. Thank you.
Thank you, President Ghazouani. Now, President Nyusi of Mozambique.
Sua Excelência Xi Jinping, Presidente da República Popular da China.
His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, I would like to express, on behalf of the government and people of Mozambique, and in my own name, our appreciation to the Chinese government for inviting us to participate in this 5th China International Import Expo under the theme of New Era, Shared Future. The CIIE has become a high-level platform for promoting investment opportunities and forming business partnerships. Mozambique and China have a close and long-standing economic and trade relationship that promotes trade and two-way investment between our two countries. Value chains related to investment have a positive impact on the infrastructure of social development. Indeed, our country has a trade deficit that is about $1.771 billion in the last 5 years. That is telling in commercial exchanges. Despite so, China has become Mozambique's second largest source of import and fourth largest export market. Between 2017 and 2021, China occupied top places in terms of investments in Mozambique, either the first or the second. 147 projects were launched, with a total investment of around $846 million. They not only generate more than 16,000 jobs, but also have a positive impact on Mozambique's trade balance through increasing export channels and import substitution. Thanks to the export potential of LNG in Area 4 and Area 1, as well as additional investments in the expansion of oil and gas production capacity, our economic and trade relations will continue to grow. Mozambique has the geographical advantage of having close relations with its landlocked neighbors. I would like to take the opportunity to present in a more concrete way the opportunities that we can offer to China. First, our great potential in energy, including fossil fuels and renewable energy such as hydropower, especially the Mupanda-Nukua hydropower project. Second, our infrastructure and logistics corridors that connect the region and the world and from north to south. Third, our high output and promising agricultural and fishing markets. Fourth, networked industrialization and the processing and high value-added industries such as agricultural products, minerals, oil and gas resources based on it. Fifth, coastal and inland tourism, and as well as our culture industry. Sixth, interconnected industrial parks that are based on China's successful experience. We're confident in our economic cooperation, and we believe there is great potential for the internationalization of goods made in Mozambique. With that, I would like to underline the following aspects. First, the stabilization of inflation and exchange rate, and the growth target of 5% for 2023. Second, the resumption of the program with the IMF. Third, the recently approved package of measures that is aimed at accelerating private investment and facilitating the flow of foreign investors. Distinguished investors and entrepreneurs, lastly, I would like to reiterate that Mozambique is a market worth investing and is active in building partnerships through an open private sector dominated by MSMEs. This prestigious event provides an opportunity for Mozambique's economic diplomacy. Since last September, China provides preferential tariff treatment on around 98% of Mozambican products exported to China. I wish the 5th CIIE a full success. Thank you.
Muito obrigado pela atenção.
感谢纽西总统。
Thank you,
下面有
President
请
Nyusi.
白俄罗斯总
Now,
统卢卡申
President
科阁下致
Lukashenko
辞。
of Belarus.
Уважаемый председатель Си Цзиньпин, уважаемые главы
Your
государств,
Excellency President Xi
руководители
Jinping,
правительств,
Your
дамы
Excellencies,
и
Heads of
господа.
State and Government, ladies and gentlemen.
Поздравляю всех участников и гостей с
I would like to
открытием
congratulate on the
китайской
opening of
международной
the 5th
выставки
China
импорта
International
в
Import Expo
Шанхае.
in Shanghai.
Данное мероприятие
The
прочно
CIIE
закрепилось в
has become one
календаре
of the world's
экономических
important
событий
economic
и
events
сегодня представляет собой один из наиболее
and represents a way
востребованных
of
форматов
cooperation that is
взаимодействия.
needed the most
Рад,
nowadays.
что после 2 лет вынужденной паузы в общении
I'm glad to
мы
see
с
that
помощью
after 2
подобных
years
встреч
of a forced pause in
восполняем дефицит
communication,
контактов,
we are making up
готовы
for the lack
поделиться
of
полученным
contacts
опытом,
with the help of such
представить свои
events.
разработки
We
и
are ready to
достижения
share
по
our
целому
experience
ряду направлений.
and present our outcomes and
Глобальный
achievements in a number of areas.
социально-экономический кризис,
Due to the
вызванный
COVID-19
пандемией
pandemic and the
и
intensification
усилением
of geopolitical
геополитической
confrontation,
конфронтации,
the world is faced
выявил
with severe
особую
economic and social
необходимость в
crises.
эффективной
In
международной
this context, it's
координации,
important to
а
enhance
также
international
равноправном и
coordination and
уважительном
build
партнерстве.
partnerships on the basis of equality
Являясь
and mutual
важной
respect.
частью евразийского
Being an
пространства,
important member of the
наше
Eurasian
государство
continent,
стояло у
Belarus
истоков
is one of the
создания
founders of the
Евразийского
Eurasian
экономического
Economic
союза.
Union.
Мы
We pay
уделяем
special
особое
attention
внимание
to projects
проектам
under the framework
в
of the
рамках
Belt and Road
китайской
Initiative.
инициативы «Пояс и путь»,
The most
среди которых
significant
наиболее
one
значимый
is the Great Stone
расположенный у нас
Industrial Park
индустриальный
in
парк
our
«Великий
country.
камень». Беларусь готова к расширению
Belarus
совместной работы
is
по
ready
поставкам
to expand
высококачественной
cooperation
продукции
on the
и
supply of
реализации
high-quality
новых
products
проектов
and
в
the
области
implementation of new
электронной торговли.
projects in the field of
Готовы
e-commerce.
продолжить тесное
We are
сотрудничество
ready
со
to
всеми
maintain close
заинтересованными
cooperation
сторонами
with all
для
stakeholders to
диверсификации маршрутов
diversify
регулярных
transit
транзитных
routes
перевозок
and innovate
и внедрения
logistics
инновационных логистических подходов. Беларусь принимает участие в китайской международной выставке импорта в
Belarus has been
Шанхае с
participating in the
первых дней
CIIE in
создания,
Shanghai since the very
ежегодно
first day of its
презентуя на ее
creation.
площадке
We
свои
present
ключевые
our key
достижения и
achievements and
разработки.
products here in Shanghai every
Наше
year.
участие в выставке
As we
2022
participate in this
года
year's
проходит в
CIIE,
начале
our
нового этапа
relationship
развития
also enters a new
белорусско-китайского
stage of
взаимодействия.
development. As
Будучи
reliable and
надежными и
trusted partners,
проверенными
as well as
союзниками,
ironclad brothers,
железными
we
братьями,
work
мы
effectively in
эффективно
the field
работаем в
of
области
innovation
кооперации,
and
инноваций,
logistics.
логистики. В этом году в мероприятии в
This
Шанхае
year,
участвуют
20
два десятка
well-known
известных
Belarusian
белорусских
manufacturers
производителей.
are
Экспоненты
participating in this
презентуют наши
event in
передовые
Shanghai.
наработки в
Exhibitors
производстве
will present our advanced
высокотехнологичного
products in
оборудования,
such fields as
сферах
high-tech equipment,
информационных
information
технологий,
technology, and
медицины.
medicine.
Участники и посетители смогут лично увидеть
Participants and visitors
сверхмалые
will
орбитальные
also be
космические
able to
аппараты,
personally
серию
see nanosatellites,
противораковых лекарственных
anti-cancer
средств,
drugs,
белорусские
electric
электроскутеры
scooters,
и
and
многое
much
другое.
more.
Отдельного внимания заслуживает стенд
The
индустриального
stand
парка
of the
«Великий
Great
камень».
Stone Industrial
На нем
Park deserves
представлены
special
достижения
attention.
и
The
разработки
products presented
резидентов,
at the stand
что
clearly
наглядно
demonstrates the
демонстрирует
investment
инвестиционный
potential of the
потенциал
park.
парка. Наша страна с многовековыми аграрными
With
традициями
centuries-old
входит в топ
agricultural
мировых
traditions,
экспортеров
our
молочной
country is one
продукции
of
и
the
калийных
world's top
удобрений,
exporters of
вносит
dairy
немалый вклад
products
в
and
обеспечение
potash
мировой
fertilizers,
продовольственной
making
безопасности.
great contributions to ensuring global
Национальная
food security.
экспозиция со свойственным белорусам гостеприимством
And with the hospitality of
продемонстрирует
Belarusians,
полюбившуюся
the national
китайским
exposition will
покупателям
showcase
продовольственную
food
продукцию,
products made in
изготовленную в
accordance
соответствии
with
с
international
мировыми
environmental
экологическими
standards
стандартами.
that the Chinese
В
buyers
рамках
love.
выставки также будет
The
работать
virtual pavilion of
виртуальный павильон
Belarus will
«Беларусь».
also
В нем
open
представят
during this year's
достижения промышленности,
CIIE. It will present
научно-технические
our
инновации,
country's achievements in
туристический и
industry,
культурный
scientific and
потенциал нашего
technological
государства.
innovations, tourism
Дорогие
and
друзья,
culture. Dear
убежден,
friends,
что
I'm
китайская
convinced
выставка
that
импорта
the
в
fifth
Шанхае
CIIE
придаст
will
мощный
give a
импульс
powerful
расширению
impetus
международного
to the expansion
экономического
of international
сотрудничества
economic
и
and technological
технологической
cooperation.
кооперации. В заключение хочу
In
поблагодарить
conclusion, I
организаторов
would like to thank the
мероприятия, а
organizers
также
of the
пожелать
event
всем
and
его
wish all
участникам
its
и гостям
participants and guests
плодотворной
fruitful work,
работы,
new
новых
successes,
профессиональных успехов
and good
и
deals.
выгодных сделок. Благодарю вас за внимание.
Thank you.
感谢卢卡申科总统。
Thank you,
下面
President
有请
Lukashenko.
圭亚那总统
Now,
阿里阁下致
President
辞。
Ali of Guyana.
I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency President Xi Jinping, and to the government and people of the People's Republic of China for their hosting of 4 successful editions of the China International Import Exposition. I'm confident that this year's Expo, the 5th, will be equally successful. The success of the expositions runs parallel with China's impressive economic strides. The country has emerged as a global economic giant, its economy being characterized by strong and sustained economic growth. These accomplishments have resulted in improvement in its people's living standards. China, in turn, has expanded its relations with the rest of the world. It has intensified trade, investment, and developmental assistance with other parts of the developing world, including my own country, Guyana. Guyana remains deeply appreciative of the assistance and collaboration offered by China throughout the years in areas inclusive of human resource training and scholarships, medical cooperation, food security and agriculture, and technological and infrastructural transformation. I'm confident that this 5th China International Import Exposition will provide an unparalleled opportunity for the promotion of business opportunities, increasing trade, and promoting greater economic collaboration between Guyana and China, and Guyana and the rest of the world. I welcome the opportunity provided by China for Guyana to showcase its products and services through the virtual country exhibition. Guyana is a particularly attractive investment destination for several factors, including its rapid economic growth, resource wealth, multi-sector opportunities, its accessibility to regional and global markets, and a favorable fiscal incentive regime for investors. Companies investing in Guyana can be assured of support and protection. Guyana's development trajectory is in takeoff mode. Our country is now ranked by the International Monetary Fund as one of the 5 fastest growing economies in the world. Our economy is expected to grow by 47% this year. Guyana is now an oil-producing state with an estimated 11 billion barrels of recoverable petroleum reserves, one of the highest per capita levels in the world. It is rich in gold, diamonds, timber, bauxite, fisheries, rice, and sugar. It is also diversifying and modernizing its agricultural sector. Despite being an oil-producing state, Guyana is committed to a low-carbon growth trajectory. The development framework it has crafted entails the prudent and effective management of our oil resources, an investment of the resources and infrastructure, agriculture, health, and education, and the development of low-carbon sectors, including tourism, information technology and communication, and aquaculture. Guyana's low-carbon development strategy promotes economic sustainability, diversification of the economy, investment in climate mitigation adaptation, utilization of carbon credits, enhanced biodiversity and ecosystem management systems, and transitioning into a clean energy future. Our objective is to reduce the high cost of energy by 50% by 2025, thereby overcoming what has been one of the major impediments to development, high energy costs. Guyana welcomes the opportunity that the China International Import Expo provides for it to showcase trade and investment potential on a global stage. Undoubtedly, this event will be instrumental in enhancing trade and investment with other countries, including the People's Republic of China. I therefore reiterate my wishes for a successful China International Import Expo. I thank you.
Thank you, President Ali. Now, Prime Minister Sokavari of Solomon Islands.
General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, Central Committee, and President of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Xi Jinping, distinguished entrepreneurs, friends and partners of the international community, I bring you greetings on behalf of the business community, people, and government of Solomon Islands. Let me first congratulate the people of China for the reappointment of His Excellency Xi Jinping as the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee. His re-election signifies the trust of the people in the leadership of the Communist Party of China in its pursuit to build a better future for all mankind. The 5th China International Import Expo theme of New Era Shared Future is the first important event after the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, attracting worldwide attention. I sincerely commend President Xi Jinping and the government of the People's Republic of China for this fine achievement. Hosting the China International Import Expo is a major decision of the Chinese government to promote a new round of high-level opening, as well as a key measure for China to proactively open its market to the rest of the world. The China International Import Expo has since increasingly acted as a major platform for international procurement, investment promotion, cultural exchange, and open cooperation. It has become a window of the new development paradigm and a forum to uphold high-level opening up and multilateralism, and has been providing an international public good for the world to share. This year, 2022, the China International Import Expo have all the reasons to be of special significance. Solomon Islands would like to join the international partners of China by supporting the China International Import Expo as a major platform to further promote the high-level opening up, pragmatically advance the market interaction, industry integration, mutually reinforcing innovation, and rule interconnection between China and the rest of the world, hence building a community with a shared future for mankind. For Solomon Islands, China has been the leading destination of our commodities export for a long time. In the last 5 years, more than 50% of our foreign export earnings came from People's Republic of China. In 2018, it was 65% of the total value of export commodities. Our actual export to China is around 357 million on average. Our potential is about $763 million. There is an untapped potential of around 400 million that can be realized through an enhanced market interaction. The People's Republic of China and Solomon Islands had signed agreements between our two countries, one of which is the Road and Belt Initiative. In particular, this initiative will enhance Solomon Islands' connectivity, trade, and investment links with the People's Republic of China and globally. Significantly, we will continue to foster closer understanding and cooperation within the Blue Economy Cooperation. This is an arrangement that the two countries will build upon to explore the opportunities of trade it presents. Solomon Islands is also pleased to be given preferential treatment on our commodities export to China. Leaders, distinguished entrepreneurs, through this new era of shared future, the China International Import Expo enables the world to share the following information and opportunities. First, with the world's largest population, growing middle class, China is the second largest economy, as well as the second largest importer and consumer in the world. The China International Import Expo is therefore an enormous opportunity to expand the horizons of our local production and exportable supply. In the next 5 years, China is expecting to import products and services valuing more than $10 trillion, which provides a historic opportunity for enterprises across the world to enter the huge Chinese market. Second, the China International Import Expo attracts enterprises from many participating countries and regions, supporting activities such as supply-demand matchmaking meetings, seminars, and product releases that will be held during this event will provide important business information and promotion of products. Third, under the leadership of the CPC and the platform provided for by the China International Import Expo, I know this new era will provide new channels for a shared future between countries and regions with China to do business, strengthen cooperation, and promote common prosperity of the world economy and trade. China's adherence to the right course of economic globalization and its investment in global development cooperation is highly commendable. Your Excellency, government leaders and representatives, distinguished entrepreneurs, and world business representatives, I wish you all the best and every success in this prestigious event. Thank you.
感谢索加瓦雷总理。下面有请世界贸易组织总干事伊维拉女士致辞。
Thank you, Prime Minister. Now, Director General Hongqiao International of the WTO.
It is an honor and a pleasure to share this message for the opening ceremony of the 5th edition of the China International Import Expo, or CIIE. Let me start by thanking His Excellency President Xi for his continued leadership in hosting this impressive event. China is widely recognized to have become the world's largest merchandise exporter. It accounted for 15.1% of world exports in 2021. Less well known is the fact that it is the second largest importer of goods, accounting for 11.9% of world imports last year. China is also the second largest importer of services, as well as the third largest services exporter. China has an immense stake in global trade and in the strength of the multilateral trading system that underpins it. This is reflected in its voice and influence at the World Trade Organization. This past June, at our 12th Ministerial Conference, China's constructive engagement and flexibility helped make it possible for all 164 members of the WTO to deliver, by consensus, 10 multilaterally agreed texts. These include the WTO's response to the food security crisis, including a legally binding decision to exempt World Food Programme humanitarian purchases from export restrictions. A response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including a hard-won compromise on the proposed TRIPS waiver with respect to vaccine production. An agreement to curb harmful fisheries subsidies after more than 20 years of negotiations. An extension of duty-free electronic transmissions to provide continued certainty for e-commerce and digitally delivered services. The launch of a process for comprehensive WTO reform, including a collective commitment to make the dispute settlement system fully functional by 2024. These results demonstrated that WTO members are capable of working across geopolitical tensions to respond to the multifaceted challenges facing the world today. Trade can, in fact, trade must be part of the solution to address these and other issues of our times, such as post-pandemic economic recovery, inflation, imperatives for development and socioeconomic inclusion, and of course, climate change that is already upending lives and livelihoods. Reforming and revitalizing the WTO is about equipping it to contribute as fully as possible to these solutions. This is why, for all our collective success at MC12, enormous efforts are needed from now on to build upon those results. Among the issues on members' agendas are determining whether to extend the TRIPS waiver compromise to therapeutics and diagnostics, The deadline members have set is in mid-December. Ensuring the new fisheries subsidies agreement swiftly enters into force and that the second wave of negotiations moves ahead on further strengthening the disciplines. Promoting WTO reform, including concrete solutions-oriented negotiations on dispute settlement. Rebuilding the agriculture negotiations to respond to the full spectrum of challenges facing farm production and trade. Enabling members to make a shared, informed decision on extending the e-commerce moratorium. I'm firmly convinced that the future of trade is digital, it is services, and it's green. WTO members must keep up, and China's engagement will be critical for these efforts. The future of trade must also be inclusive, something that I know China cares very deeply about. This means drawing more micro, small and medium enterprises and women entrepreneurs into value chains. It also means bringing communities and countries now on the margins of global supply networks to the mainstream, in particular in Africa, Latin America, and also some parts of Asia. In its role as an importer, showcased by the CIIE, China can help ensure trade remains a force for development and inclusion. I look forward to working with China and other WTO members for a stronger, more effective global trading system that delivers for people and the planet. Thank you.
感谢伊维拉女士。下面有请国际货币基金组织总裁格尔基耶娃女士致辞。
of the IMF.
Shanghai. Good evening to all. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Minister Wang for inviting me to contribute to this 5th China International Import Expo. The theme of this year's Expo, stimulating global opening up for shared opportunities of cooperation and development, is exactly what the world needs today. We know how much the world, and this region in particular, has benefited over the past 3 to 4 decades from global economic integration. Simply put, trade has been an engine of shared growth for Asia and the world. Yet, we are at a critical moment. For more than 2.5 years, the world has been facing extraordinary challenges: a global pandemic, war in Ukraine, climate disasters on all continents. And with it, we are witnessing record high inflation, a cost of living crisis, and acute food insecurity in too many parts of the world. And for the first time in decades, we are seeing poverty in so many places on the rise again. There is much that policymakers around the world can and must do to stabilize their economies. These immediate actions are essential, but they will not be enough to ensure that economic integration, not fragmentation, continues to be the driving force for a more prosperous future for all of us. That is why the spirit of this Expo is so vital. We must safeguard and promote trade openness, both at home and by cooperating to build a stronger global trading system centered on the World Trade Organization. To understand the benefits of more open and stable trade policies, we need to look no further than China. A quarter century ago, China undertook ambitious reforms, opening the economy to greater competition and innovation, which in turn saw rapid gains in productivity and tremendous increases in living standards. These reforms also secured China's membership in the WTO and established China as a leading trading nation. Today, the global trading system is under severe threat. Trade restrictions and distortionary subsidies are on the rise. A particular priority is rolling back food-related trade restrictions, which drive up global prices and food insecurity. In other words, rather than being a source of growth and integration, trade policy risks becoming a source of economic fragmentation, which hurts all countries. And we see in our latest economic outlook for the region released last week a scenario that illustrates the potential cost. If the world and our trade were to divide into two blocks, we estimate permanent annual losses of 1.5% of GDP globally, with losses over 3% of GDP in Asia and the Pacific, reflecting the key role trade plays in the region. The global community, led by major economies, must step up with practical and concrete actions. For China, there is room to further open up domestic markets, deepen reforms of state-owned enterprises, ensure competitive neutrality with private firms, and further strengthen the protection of intellectual property rights. These efforts will be good for China, for the economic well-being of the Chinese people, and they're good for the world. For example, reforms that would improve resource allocation between different firms in China could increase productivity by around 6%. Of course, as a global economic powerhouse, China also has a key leadership role in the WTO. Together with other major economies, China can help strengthen the multilateral system. And let me highlight 4 priorities. First, we need to clarify trade rules, especially by addressing issues such as agricultural and industrial subsidies. Second, we need to conclude new market opening agreements in key areas of the modern economy, such as digital trade and investment facilitation. Third, we can strengthen the role of trade in fighting climate change, including through liberalizing trade in environmental goods and services. And finally, restoring effective WTO with dispute settlement that works will provide the policy certainty and stability needed for investment, job creation, and growth. This should be coupled with a renewed commitment to a multilateral approach. Rather than acting unilaterally, governments should bring their disputes to the WTO. I recognize that delivering on these priorities will not be easy. And instrumental as China's leadership can be, no one country can achieve this alone. And that is why we need much stronger international cooperation, not less of it. And that is why we need this Expo and similar opportunities for interaction and dialogue. Only by reaching out across borders and bridging differences on critical trade issues can we confront fragmentation and together build a more prosperous future for everyone. 谢谢。
感谢格尔基耶娃女士。
Thank you,
下面有请联合国工业发展组织总干事穆勒致辞。
Director General Mueller of UNIDO.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all from Vienna and from UNIDO. Let me please thank China's Ministry of Commerce for the invitation and for their support for UNIDO. I also want to congratulate the government of China for organizing this 5th edition of the China International Import Expo. This expo has quickly become a key global forum for trade, international cooperation and investment promotion. This expo and we at UNIDO share many priorities. We make global partnerships and cooperation possible to ensure fair trade. We work to share knowledge and technology to advance economic development. We ensure that such development is environmentally sustainable. We share the goal of progress by innovation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, UNIDO and China will continue our successful work together for shared growth and international development. I am proud to say that UNIDO has been a key partner for CIIE since its first edition in 2018. In the past 4 expos, UNIDO participated in many sessions and exhibitions. We have been a key contributor to the Hongqiao Forum. UNIDO is honored to be a co-organizer of the parallel session this year. It will focus on industrial parks and special economic zones. They are a way for developing countries to improve South-South industrial cooperation and to increase their productivity. I am happy to invite you all to our session tomorrow at the forum. We also welcome you to visit our digital exhibition pavilion. There you can see UNIDO's efforts to address the most pressing challenges and solutions for today's world. UNIDO is always ready to be your partner to bring sustainable development and concrete solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate again the government of China for organizing this forum. Working together, we can create win-win situations for everyone's benefit. And we can create a fairer trade system. I wish you all great success. Thank you so much.
感谢穆勒先生。
Thank you,
下
Mr.
面
Muller.
有请胡春华副总理继续
Vice
主持开幕式
Premier。Hu Chunhua will continue to chair the opening ceremony.
感谢各国领导
Let me
人
thank
和
the
各
foreign
位
leaders
国际组
and
织
heads of
负责人
international
的精彩
organizations
支持。
their great remarks.
刚才各位
Just
嘉
now,
宾
they
就
shared
应对
many
共同挑战、
insights
扩大
on
相
jointly
互开
addressing
放、
common
促进
challenges,
共同发展
expanding to a
发
openness
表了
and
很
advancing
多真知灼
shared
见，
development.
提出了许多
Their
建设性意
constructive
见，
ideas
对于
will
开
go
好
a long
本
way
次虹桥国际
in
论
hosting
坛
a successful
促进
Hongqiao
各国
International
互利
Economic
合作
Forum
具有
and
十分
promoting
重要的
mutually
意义。
beneficial cooperation
现在
among all
有请
countries.
中共中
Now
央
please
政
join
治
me
局
in
常委
welcome
李强阁下
His
致辞，
Excellency Li Qiang,
已宣布第5
member of
届
the
中国
Standing
国际
Committee
进口博
of
览
the
会
Political
开
Bureau
幕
of the CPC Central Committee to deliver remarks and announce the opening of the 5th CIIE. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, I'm delighted to meet you all in Shanghai for the opening ceremony of the 5th China International Import Expo. President Xi just delivered important remarks. He has recognized the important role and fruitful outcomes of the CIIE, emphasized China's commitment to the fundamental national policy of opening up to the outside world, and expounded on the measures of opening up that create new opportunities to the world with China's own development, which has injected strong, positive energy into the building of an open world economy. It's important that we grasp the trend of economic globalization, jointly overcome difficulties, and usher in the future through openness and cooperation. Since the start of this year, China has maintained COVID response and socio-economic development, both protecting the people's life and health and keeping economic and social stability. the fundamentals of the Chinese economy, its strong resilience, enormous potential, vast room for maneuver, and long-term sustainability remain unchanged. The great journey of reform and opening up shows the more open China is, the stronger its development, and development in turn drives further openness, which brings greater confidence and strength. China's past economic development was achieved through openness, and in the future, high-quality development must also be pursued via greater openness. As the 20th CPC National Congress has underscored, China will promote high-standard opening up. On this new journey, China will only open wider. First, China's high-standard opening up features the mutually reinforcing dual circulations. President Xi Jinping has emphasized on multiple occasions that the new development paradigm is never a closed domestic circulation, but both domestic and international circulations that are more open. High-standard opening up helps boost the dynamism and reliability of the domestic economy, while engaging at a higher level in the global economy. It will amplify the interplay between domestic and international markets and resources. China will firmly implement the strategy to expand domestic demand, foster a robust domestic market, and attract global resources and production factors with our strong domestic economy, so as to make China a great market shared by the whole world. We will advance high-quality trade development, protect the rights and interests of foreign investment in accordance with the law, further relax market access, and promote trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, with a view to forging a positive cycle of higher standard opening up. Second, China's high-standard opening up spurs reform in greater depth. Reform and opening up is a crucial move that is shaping China's future. Openness shapes and drives reform, and the two are mutually reinforcing and indispensable. We will continue reforms to develop the socialist market economy, see that the market plays a decisive role in resource allocation, and that the government better plays its role. We will unswervingly consolidate and develop the public sector and unswervingly encourage, support, and guide the development of the private sector, refine the systems underpinning the market economy, such as those for property rights protection, market access, and fair competition, protect legitimate rights and interests of all types of enterprises in accordance with the law, and foster a world-class business environment that is market-based, law-based, and internationalized. We will steadily expand our institutional opening up with regard to rules, regulations, management, and standards, and put in place new mechanisms for a higher standard open economy. Third, China's high standard opening up promotes high-quality development. High-quality development is the primary task for building a modern socialist country in all respects. Advancing high-standard opening up helps boost science, technology, and innovation, as well as industrial transformation and upgrading, and improves the quality and standard of supply. In the first 3 quarters, China attracted more than 1 trillion yuan of foreign investment, up by 15.6% year-on-year, including a 33.3% growth of high-tech foreign investment. They will energize
high-quality development. We will commit ourselves to openness, to pursue reforms, development, and innovation, continue to foster new driving forces and cutting edges for development, and effectively upgrade and appropriately expand China's economic output. Fourth, China's high-standard opening up seeks win-win cooperation of the whole world. Over the past decade, as China entered a new era, our import growth rate doubled the world average. And China contributed more than 30% of global growth on average. The Chinese modernization is the modernization of peaceful development. With an open mind, we will draw inspiration from all of human civilization's outstanding achievements. We will promote true multilateralism, expand the consensus for greater openness and cooperation across the world, advance high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and build a community with a shared future for mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, the CIIE is China's major initiative to still widen market access to the rest of the world. 5 years on, as a major platform for international procurement, investment promotion, cultural exchange, and open cooperation. Its functions have been gradually refined. The complementary exhibition plus reform plus forum and the blooming economic and cultural interactions make the CIIE a colorful bridge connecting China and the rest of the world. We're confident that with concerted efforts, the CIIE, a global public good, will go from strength to strength. Now, I declare the 5th China International Import Expo open.
第5届中国国际进口博览会开幕式到此结束，让我们欢送中方领导人和其他贵宾离场。The opening ceremony of the